There were not 300 men at Thermopylae. There were 7,000. History remembers 300 because that is the number someone chose to remember. By the end of this video, you will know why, and what actually happened in that pass over 3 days in August of 480 BC. In the summer of 480 BC, a Persian army under King Xerxes marched into Greece. Ancient writers claimed his force numbered in the millions. Modern historians place it closer to 100,000 to 300,000 fighting men, still an overwhelming force by any measure of the ancient world. To stop him, the Greek city-states chose a narrow mountain pass on the coast, a gap so tight that only a few men could fight side by side. Its name was Thermopylae, the Hot Gates. Leading the defense was Leonidas, king of Sparta. And here is where the legend begins to bend the truth. Sparta was in the middle of a sacred religious festival, the Carnea, during which its army was forbidden to march. Leonidas could not bring his full force. So he took his personal bodyguard instead, 300 men, each one already a father, chosen because their bloodline would continue even if they did not return. So if it was not 300 against an empire, who else was standing in that pass? Alongside the Spartans stood soldiers from across Greece, men from Corinth, from Arcadia, from Tegea, from Mycenae. 700 came from the small city of Thespae, and they had not been ordered to stay. When Leonidas later gave the order to retreat, the Thespians refused to leave. 400 more came from Thebes, though historians still debate whether they stood there by choice or were kept as hostages to guarantee Theban loyalty. In total, the Greek force at Thermopylae numbered close to 7,000 men. 300 of them were Spartans. The other 6,700 are the ones the myth erased. For 2 full days, this force held the pass. The Greeks fought in relays, taking turns at the front line so that no unit grew too tired to hold its shield wall. The narrowness of Thermopylae worked against Persia's greatest advantage, its numbers. Only a few Persians could reach the Greek line at a time, and the heavier Greek armor and longer spears cut them down before they could close the distance. Twice, Xerxes sent his best soldiers forward, including his royal guard, the Immortals. Twice, they were pushed back. For 2 days, 7,000 men did what should have been impossible. So far, an army possibly 10 to 30 times its size, held at a dead stop, for 2 days, by a coalition force the legend never talks about. On the 3rd day, everything changed. A local man named Ephialtes came to Xerxes with information, a hidden mountain track that circled behind the Greek position. In exchange for a reward, he showed the Persians the way around Thermopylae. When Leonidas learned that his position had been outflanked, he made his final decision. He dismissed most of the Greek army, ordering them to retreat and live to fight another day. He stayed. His 300 Spartans stayed with him. So did the 700 Thespians, who had already refused to leave once. Some accounts say the Thebans remained as well, though what became of them afterward is still debated by historians. What followed was not a battle for victory. It was a battle to buy time. Surrounded on both sides, the remaining Greeks fought with spears until their spears broke, then with swords, then, according to ancient accounts, with their bare hands. Leonidas was killed in the fighting, and a fierce struggle broke out over his body, a sign of how much his death meant to both sides. By the end of the 3rd day, the rear guard at Thermopylae had been wiped out. The pass belonged to Persia. On paper, Thermopylae was a Persian victory. The pass fell. But the 3 days it took to fall gave the rest of Greece time it did not have before, time to prepare its fleet, time to evacuate Athens, time to meet Persia again at Salamis and at Plataea, battles Greece would go on to win. Thermopylae did not save Greece by itself. That is the real story, not 300 men against millions, but roughly 7,000 men, most of them nameless today, buying 3 days that changed the outcome of a war. If this kind of history interests you, the account I leaned on most for the sourcing in this video is Paul Cartledge's Thermopylae, the battle that changed the world, link in the description if you want to go deeper than a 20-minute video can take you. The sources for every figure in this video are linked in the description below. I'd rather you check them yourself than take my word for it. If you think the Thebans stood there willingly or under threat, let me know in the comments, because historians genuinely do not agree. And if you want to see how this delaying action turned into a Greek victory, that is where the next episode picks up.